Electricity is vital to modern life. It powers and lights up almost everything around you, your appliances at home, your businesses and industries, plus many more. Without it, most of the things we use every day could not work. Today, most electricity in the Philippines comes from power stations that are powered by petroleum and fossil fuels that account for more than 36% of carbon emissions in the country, which is bad for the environment. With increasing gasoline prices and dependence on foreign oil, the rate of electricity has become higher than the cost to generate power, and we all know that this isn't the best long-term solution. Fortunately, the Philippines has a vast reserve of clean and renewable energy. However, many of these renewables do not produce electricity predictably or consistently. Wind power is mostly reliant on the speed of the wind, while solar energy varies on the strength of sunshine that depends on the time of the day and the amount of cloud cover. Hydro dams can generate large amounts of electricity, but the numbers of sites suitable for new dams are limited. By the year 2020, the need for electricity in the Philippines is expected to increase at an annual growth rate of 4.13%. However, as of today, the country doesn't still have a stable source of energy. At the start of 2014, Mindanao has been experiencing 2 to 3 hours of rotating brownouts, and it was projected to continue until 2015 due to a lack of new entry of power energy or projects. Now, citizens fear that the power crisis during the 1990s, which resulted to more than 300 government and major offices in the Makati Financial District and tens of thousands of homes without electricity, may replicate itself if the country's power supply-demand gap continues to widen. The nation's only nuclear power station back then was supposed to relieve the country's supply of electricity for the coming years, designed to generate 620 megawatts of electricity to the power grid, enough to cover the 1990s power shortage. Unfortunately, the power plant was mothballed. As of today, the fast-growing economy of the Philippines, as the country's demand for energy is growing, is driving the government to search for a new entry of power source that will be able to meet the country's long-term electricity needs on a sustainable basis. But how do we generate more electricity that are cleaner, safer, and cheaper in the Philippines? Part of the answer is the rehabilitation of the Bataan nuclear power plant. However, the plant was observed to be near an earthquake fault line and was surrounded by several volcanoes, which can damage the cooling system and may lead to a loss of coolant if incidents were to happen, which led to organizations to question and oppose the project. But what could be the key to solving all of these problems? The real answer is moving towards nuclear energy. As of May 2014, 30 countries worldwide are operating 435 nuclear reactors for electricity generation, and 72 new nuclear plants are under construction in 15 countries. In total, 13 countries relied on nuclear energy to supply at least 1/4 of their total electricity. In 1973, France, that went nuclear as a result of an energy crisis, gets around 3/4 of its power from nuclear energy. That's about 80%. Shifting towards nuclear energy has reduced carbon dioxide emissions by 40%. And today, France has the cheapest electricity bill in all of Europe and has the cleanest air in any industrialized country since shutting down its last coal mine in 2004. In terms of cost, nuclear power has a significantly lower production cost compared to coal and natural gas, helping to reduce the price of electricity for consumers. Compared to other energy sources, nuclear plants do not emit any greenhouse gases in generating electricity, preventing emissions of about 2.5 million metric tons of carbon dioxide per year and more than 500,000 tons of nitrogen oxide, which is equivalent to that released by 25 million cars. To give you a better idea, the amount of carbon emissions nuclear energy prevents is larger than all those electricity sources combined, providing over 12.3% of the world's electricity without carbon dioxide emissions, making it clean, affordable, and ready to meet our growing energy needs. As an energy that people have always misunderstood as a weapon of massive destruction, it actually outweighs more of its disadvantages. It's actually just a matter of following international standards. Now that you know what's at stake, isn't it time we benefited from nuclear energy? Consider this. Did you know that BNPP has a sister plant? It was similar in build, make, and plans, and has proven so profitable for South Korea, that they decided to build 3 more plants of KORI-1. And compared to Fukushima, BNPP is considered much safer. Out of the first generation of nuclear plants, BNPP was among the last to be built in its generation, making it younger than about 70% of the nuclear plants in operation in America today. Having a ready-built plant waiting to be restarted is something of a novelty in the sector, where many governments around the world are looking at nuclear options, but are wary of the 15-year period that such plants take to build. As a country that first considered nuclear power in Southeast Asia but we weren't able to do it, we are now being surrounded by nations like Vietnam and Malaysia that are moving to adopt nuclear power. This is a frightening picture, but it doesn't have to be. If we change the odds, nuclear energy can now be a viable option if environmental and safety concerns are met.